Hello, probers. You are listening to But It Was Aliens, the extraterrestrial exploration podcast where we probe aliens before they probe us. We probe big aliens and small aliens, and sometimes aliens of undetermined size to determine ourselves, for the safety of humanity, whether they really are, were, or will indeed be aliens. Each week, we take it in turns to lead on an investigation, and when I say we, I'm talking me, your lead investigator for today, Kevin the Grey, and my co-host this week, Granville Moonwalker. How you doing today, Moonwalker?
Not too bad. Bit of a cold coming on, so I may sound a bit shit today. Apologies.
If I catch it, I'm setting the aliens on you.
Yeah, whatever.
You won't say that when they probe you. Lest we probe them first.
Literally the words that were about to come out of my mouth.
You're too slow.
I'm ill.
And slow. I think I might start calling you Moon for short, or Mooney. What do you think?
Nah, because then it reminds me of Paul Mooney. I'm not a fan of Paul Mooney. He's a dick. I'd rather Luna.
Okay, Mooney. Today's probe is going deep on a chap named Stanley Tiger Romanek. Are you familiar with Stanley?
Is he a tiger?
He's not.
Did he have something to do with tigers?
It wouldn't surprise me at this point.
As you can tell by my questions, I have no idea who he is.
Ooh. Just you wait. So Stan the man lived in Colorado. He first popped up in the public eye relatively recently. In December of the year 2000, not much had changed and we were still living above water.
That's not that long ago.
Stan Romanek was out near the mountains filming a video for a lady he had met online called Lisa to entice her to come visit him. So she obviously lived a little bit of distance away.
Indeed. Filthy boy.
Romanek looked up and saw a weird shape above power lines momentarily, and this thing truly looked like a silvery craft. Honestly, if the story ended here, it could well be a bit It Was Aliens as we stand. The footage is interesting.
There's footage?
There is, but I do not have it on me right this second. If you want to pay for his documentary...
How much is it?
We'll get to it. There are other stories out there of similar sightings by other people. This thing is a known UFO. But this was only the beginning of Romanek's story.
Alright, so far, he's not really done much, except...
Found a frickin' alien!
Yeah, but has he though? All I've witnessed so far is he's agreed to film a video for a lady just so he could entice her to come visit him. Dirty boy.
Bow, chicka. Is your Siri just gone off?
Siri has just gone off.
What does Siri want?
It literally says, "Hey Siri, are you a dirty boy?"
You've just set off mine! You sound nothing like me, you dirty bitch. Siri, stop listening.
Siri likes it all. Hey Kev, Siri.
It's just come up with how to kill, I swear to God. How to kill Siri. How do you kill Siri?
How... If an iPhone dies, is Siri dead?
No, because Siri is in many other iPhones. Siri's like Skynet. So.
I think we need to stop saying that. Because it's just going to keep setting the phone off. Let's stop there.
Right. Close.
Right, so it's a dirty boy, and he found a silvery craft.
Right, so... Locking up a store Romanek was working in just after dark, not long after... Romanek saw a big red-blue looking UFO. Red-blue. Those are his words, and this is the start of our tale. For Romanek had a handheld video camera, and the UFO followed Romanek all the way home. So he caught the footage. Others too had witnessed the light, and his videos made it onto local news. Romanek's footage had made him a brief local celebrity.
Do you reckon they were space police?
Why would space police be following him?
Well, he saw the silver thing. Maybe that silver thing was a Silver Surfer. And they thought he knew where he was.
Is it against the law to follow, or in fact not to follow, to see aliens? Because he couldn't really help it. He was out there trying to entice his lady friend online.
No, I'm just saying maybe they thought he knew where he was. Never said anything about it being against the law. And they're space police. Who knows what their laws are? Could do what they want.
Do they have jurisdiction here?
Dude, they're space police.
Dude.
Can do what they want.
They can do what they want, dude.
I mean, who's going to stop them?
Is that a reefer in your hand? Dude. Aliens, dude. It turns out that Romanek had moved into the backyard of a group of aliens in Colorado and would ultimately be involved in over 195 UFO sightings. In September 2001, Romanek states that he began seeing UFOs all the time. Romanek was becoming established as a magnet for strange activity. A third video shows a weird light in the sky which genuinely appears to fire down a light beam like what you'd imagine a tractor beam to be at one point. Then, at a non-disclosed time following this, Romanek says that after seeing a UFO earlier, he was awoken by a knock at his door at 2:30 in the morning. Romanek suggests that 3 creatures came to his door, and at first he thought they were people in masks, but as Romanek looked, he could see veins in their heads, their eyes blinking, their facial movements, and their mouths moving. Romanek knew they were real. A female being led him out onto his balcony. As Romanek was debating kicking their ass, he felt a light tap on the head. Next thing Romanek knew, he was in an unknown room surrounded by light. Romanek was laying on a table and he was in pain.
He'd been probed. Hashtag probe.
He may have been probed, but do you know what? He never came out with a story that he was probed, to my knowledge.
Is that something you'd want to admit?
Well, some of the other investigations I've got coming up for you, son.
I ask you a question. If an alien shoved something up your rectum, would you tell me?
If I say no, am I about to get something shoved up my rectum?
I'm going to assume that you have done. But anyway, back to the story. So,
195 sightings.
how... So there must be other people living around Romanek.
Like I said, he was a bit of a local celebrity.
So he wasn't the only person that moved into the backyard of a group of aliens.
Unless they lived in his front yard.
I'm confused by that. Right.
It's only going to get deeper, son. Going down.
195 UFO sightings led out by...
In the future. We're only on number 3 at the moment, I believe.
That's all right. How did he know it was a female alien that led him out onto the balcony?
That's a very interesting question, and that's something I've wondered myself. I have literally no idea, unless it was basically a female human. Or he's full of shit.
I also like the fact that he debated kicking their asses.
We'll get to that too, son.
And then just imagining one of them just karate chops him in the back of the head and he's out cold. Well, that's what I'm picturing right now.
Romanek says that the creatures whom abducted him were communicating with him telepathically, sending him apocalyptic images of our planet's destruction. Romanek believes that the aliens were trying to send him a message for humanity. This is obviously at this point going to turn out to be aliens, but it does concern me that already Romanek is painting himself to be a bit of a messiah. Aliens have specifically chosen this man, who used to be an IT engineer before moving on to benefit entitlements, to bring a message of our impending doom to Earth. Nope. Those bastards would choose me, or Chuck Norris.
IT engineer.
You're going to come back to that bit.
Who is currently on benefits.
He spent a long time on benefits from what I can understand.
So how did he, come to be on benefits? Did he lose his job? Did he get injured and have to, got laid off?
So he's dyslexic. I'm not laughing at dyslexic people. It's a struggle.
Okay, no. That's fair. It is something that can be overcome, and if you have the intelligence to be an engineer, it is something that can be overcome. Going to be difficult being an IT engineer.
But then what does that even mean? Is he someone who codes software or repairs hardware? Or is he someone that watches YouTube
Was he just
videos
shit?
on an
Was he
office?
just shit at his job and he got fired and then just became on benefits?
So he seems a reliable character at the moment, yeah?
Because if I'm sorry, if that's... Why are aliens going to people like this? No offense to him. No offense to Romanek.
All offence meant to Romanek.
95% offence. But if this was... So this was in 2000, right? So we had
Started in
people...
2000 and progressed.
We had the likes of Stephen Hawking still on this planet then.
He's probably
Why?
still on the planet now. He's just very, very much not alive.
Good point. Unless he was cremated. No, he'd still
He'd
be on the
be
planet.
unless he was sent... It wouldn't surprise me, actually, if Stephen Hawking asked for his ashes to be sent out to space. We'll investigate that at another time.
Yes, we will. So, at this moment in time, 2000, not right now, Stephen Hawking is still alive. Why do these aliens not visit intelligent people that you would believe if they said they were visited by aliens? Or would you then believe them?
We don't yet
Would you
know
then think they're crazy?
that Romanek is not intelligent or anything, really. All we know is that he was trying to entice a lady. He was out in the hills, saw an alien, didn't mean to, it just happened. And then from that point on...
Do you think Stephen Hawking had to entice a lady by saying he'd video her doing something? Stephen Hawking, son. Just run you down and
He
say,
just whipped
Stephen
out his
Hawking.
wand.
Would you like to?
I really want to do an impression, but I just can't. But I can.
I've lost it. I'm going to laugh to. Would you like to play a game with me?
Suck my dick.
Rest in peace, Stephen Hawking.
So Romanek experiences a lot of incidents, including multiple abductions. There is plenty of footage of Romanek experiencing unexplained puncture marks, sometimes of a triangular shape, on his body following his abductions. Some of these wounds glow in the dark, and even more bizarrely, heal very quickly before they can be examined more professionally. In 2003, Romanek claimed that one night he went to bed in his usual clothes and awoke in a lady's flannel nightgown. Romanek believed that he'd been abducted and returned in female clothing. Romanek further believed that the clothing he had been returned in belonged to Betty Hill, a famous abductee from 1961. Romanek said that it cost too much to test the gown for Betty's DNA though, so I guess we'll never know on that one.
I've heard of her before.
She's on our list.
I won't go into much detail from there then. But triangular shaped puncture marks. Mm-hmm. Unexplained.
That glow in the dark.
Glow in the dark.
Correct.
Heal very quickly before they can be examined.
And I'd just like to say at this point that he did not give them to himself and then snap one of those glow tubes and pour it on himself. Definitely wasn't what happened.
Did he get someone else to do it?
I don't have any evidence to suggest that. This is real.
Real. Also went to bed in his usual clothes and woke up in lady's flannel nightgown. Do you think he just partied too hard?
Or was he trying to bullshit people?
Is that
Definitely
why
not.
he lost his job? Was he partying too hard? And this is just one of the effects of partying too hard.
I could not find if he was working at this point.
Because I know somebody that partied a little bit too hard. And this is not either of us here.
He's talking about himself.
And when they woke up in the morning, they were wearing a woman's shirt around their bottom half. They'd lost a shoe. They had a coat on that they don't remember having. And they woke up in the bathroom. They partied too hard and that's what happened.
And then they rang every single one of us to try to piece together what happened to them.
So right now, I think that's what he's done.
It's an interesting theory. I can neither confirm or deny it. We'll just have to dig deeper.
It's true!
#probe. So Romanek claims that he frequently flies with these aliens and that he has 7 human-alien hybrid children. Amongst these children is Kioma. I'm unsure of the exact pronunciation, but there is a photo of this daughter. Before I show you this, do you remember how the vampires looked on Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
Yes, I do. Wait before you show me, though. I have a question.
I've got to get it out first.
Please don't.
I've got to show you.
Please don't.
It's coming out.
But my question is, how has he gone from being knocked out, waking up in different clothes, unknowing all of this, getting puncture marks, all these wounds, to having 7 human alien hybrid children? How did what?
I may have jumped a little bit in the story there, just for time reasons. There's an awful lot that's gone on with this guy, but to be honest,
So he's
pretty
actually
much jump from there to there.
So is he being a respectable father and looking after these 7 human alien hybrid children?
Well, how can he?
He's
They're up there, he's down here.
He's frequently flying with them.
Well, he probably, to be honest, that I do know more than what I've put in the research notes. He gives one story about where one of the kids comes and wraps their arms around his leg, and his comments are that she's so beautiful. Then he starts crying. He describes the child as beautiful, yeah. Anyway, here's the picture of this child. Can you describe what you see?
That's not real. It just looks like someone has... If you guys have seen Buffy the Vampire Slayer...
Exactly.
Please tell me you have. The moment, for example, take Spike. When he goes from...
You take Spike.
Spike's badass. When he goes from being normal to vampire Spike, and then their eyebrows kind of furrow without that little middle bit.
Yep.
That's what it looks like.
The big V. So.
Yeah. But it also looks like this could just be a mask, considering she has her eyes closed. Could just be a mask put on...
It looks like prosthetics, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does.
So this girl was first photographed in Romanek's garden, and then later turned up at a UFO convention briefly, just long enough to be snapped in the photo I've just shown you. Kioma basically looked human, but as Moonwalker said, with her makeup done in that V shape from the eyebrows to the ridge of her nose. Thoughts?
It's a weird picture, but it still... It does. It just looks like prosthetics.
Yeah.
So I don't see how he's trying to mug that one off as his kid. It could be his kid, just got someone to do special effects makeup.
I don't actually think that he has any of his own biological children other than the 7. Was it 7 or was it 9? I forget.
7.
I think it was 7, yeah. And to be honest, 5 of those are clones, and then only 2 are.
Sorry, what?
So of the 7 children...
Where did shadow clones come into this?
Where did shadows come into this? I didn't say shadows.
Said clones.
You've turned them evil.
Naruto, shadow clones.
Anyway, as you may expect from one with space children, Romanek also has a space wife, who it turns out is an experiencer like Romanek himself. Romanek says that he has 7 children with this lady. This initially shocked Romanek's actual wife by this point, Lisa, who, by the way, was the lady who he sent the video to originally all those years back, who he met online.
So it worked?
It clearly worked, and it came as a further shock at an Earth convention on the 28th of June 2008 when the 2 ladies met, and Romanek's space wife appeared to be a younger, busty human female. Oh, Stan, you tiger. The space wife was just in the crowd at the convention, and Romanek noticed her, of course. Lisa just had to watch the clear connection between Romanek and his space wife as they spoke, and this relationship continued for many years. So what are your thoughts at this moment in time regarding Romanek and his wife and his space wife?
Do we have a picture of either of them?
I could find you a picture, but genuinely they're just human females. One is a little bit tittier and a little bit younger.
What does he mean by his space wife is also an experiencer?
So abductees are also called experiencers.
So if
they
that's
have alien experiences, basically.
So he had the 7 kids, 2 real, 5 clones,
Yes.
with this lady.
The more you say that, the more real it sounds to me.
But then, how are they alien hybrids if they're both humans?
Do you know what?
They're experienced.
That's a bloody good question. Maybe like the aliens took their bits and stuck them in an alien machine and spliced them with alien DNA. You know what aliens are like.
Injected them with that glowy goo. Is that what you're saying?
Worms glow in the dark. But yeah, in 2008, Romanek pops up again. He appeared on Larry King Live.
What?
Where he claimed to have in his possession a recording of an alien peeking through his window.
Someone in makeup?
It's now commonly referred to as the Boo video.
The Boo video.
The Boo video.
I need to see this Boo video.
We have the video and we're going to watch
Yes!
it. If you'd like to open this link, so
I am. I'm going to watch
turn
this
your
video.
volume up a little bit.
Right, so I'm currently watching this video. Looks on Steadicam at the moment. Unsteadicam.
I believe he places it on a tripod. It's at this point that I started wondering why the hell he is putting a camera against the window. I'll give you the backstory after.
So did he see the alien in the first place and then set the camera up? No offence, Stan, but he is a weird-looking dude, isn't he?
He is, yeah. He looks a little bit like a person who might mess with children, to me.
Okay, this is going to sound really messed up.
Yeah.
I don't mean this in a bad way. Mm-hmm. After you just made that statement. He looks little bit like Tom Green.
My bum is on the rail.
Look up Tom Green if you don't know who we're talking about. Comedian. Used to date Drew Barrymore, I believe.
Yes, he did. So where are we at in the video?
I'm just staring at a window at the moment.
The backstory is that he said he thought he saw a peeping Tom, basically, in the back garden. So he wanted to catch him on film, as you do.
Okay.
Rather than going out there and beating his ass with his sweet fighting skills.
Doesn't look like he's going to beat anyone's ass. We've got like 40 seconds left of this video. What? Get out. Get out. That's... No.
What you
No. So a little alien head has peeked up from... That's not real. That's... The way the head goes away as well. It looks like someone's just got a mask or something.
Absolutely.
They've lifted it up to the window. They're turning it slightly from side to side and then just popping it down and bringing it back up.
That is a very perceptive description there.
I was about to say... Okay, he's just acted like he's jumped when he's seen it. I was going to say...
I love his little fucking hop.
I think that's him, but he came into shot too quickly. I think you've paid someone to do that. If any of you have not seen that video, please go and watch it. The moment that alien pops up is brilliant.
It's called the Boo video. Make sure you watch it on YouTube and don't pay for it.
Boo video.
So what did you think of the definitive evidence of alien visits?
Son, that was not an alien visit.
You saw the alien.
I saw the head of something that could be a mask. It could be a model. It's
fucking puppet.
I was about to say that.
Fucking idiot would try to prove this to be an alien. He's a bitch.
What's
Right,
quite
it's real. It's real.
Wait. What's quite funny is you can tell when someone's scared. Mm-hmm. Like genuinely scared.
Absolutely.
You can see it.
Correct.
It looks like, I wouldn't say, not even amateur actor would act that bad. Literally goes over to the video and opens the video, goes over to the window and goes, woo, and kind of like
he hops like fucking Shaggy.
Scooby-Doo. Woo. Oh, please go watch the video. Please go watch it.
We'll wait. So Romanek appeared on Larry King alongside mayoral candidate Jeff Peckman, who was endorsing Romanek's story. Peckman's mandate was to prepare for alien visits. His initiative was opposed by a group who called itself the MIB. Suffice to say, more than 8% of voters opposed Peckman.
We know that group.
We know that group well. Bastards.
Indeed.
So in May 2008, on Coast to Coast AM radio, Romanek was doing an interview when he was asked to take a lie detector test. He agreed. On the question, was the Boo video a hoax?
They've got him.
Romanek failed the test. Romanek would subsequently claim, without supporting evidence, that he failed due to an undisclosed medical condition.
Bullshit-itis.
Romanek also later alleged that he was set up to fail that test. Romanek then made a further claim that he consulted a video expert who advised him that it would cost $50,000 to fake the Boo video. The Rocky Mountain Paranormal Research Society, however, managed to duplicate the video for about $90.
I could duplicate that video for less than $90. We could get a camera, go outside and duplicate that video right now, probably with a sheet of paper,
and it would be real.
100%.
Definitely aliens.
Would not fail a lie detector test on that.
Romanek is definitely not a little bitch.
50,000. It amazes. Well, it doesn't amaze me really. But every time we come up against a roadblock, it would cost too much money. I can't do it. It costs too much money. You're just gonna have to believe me. He's a prick.
So in 2009, Romanek still wasn't done. He appeared on ABC Primetime and made a claim that he underwent hypnosis by R. Leo Sprinkle, the psychologist who specialises in alien abduction cases. Romanek suggested that, whilst under hypnosis, he wrote out the Drake equation and added a times 100 on the end. The Drake equation, as you probably know, is a formula which is used to estimate the number of extraterrestrial civilizations with communicative ability in our galaxy.
I did not know that.
You do now. Romanek also wrote out several other advanced equations around travelling faster than currently known speeds. Romanek is not smart enough to know these equations.
Do we have video proof of him writing these equations?
There are some photos that I've seen. There are some videos actually, yeah.
So there's a video of him undergoing hypnosis and then writing the equation.
And he does not seem at all like he's actually hypnotised. He looks like a man who has spent a lot of time trying to memorise shit that he doesn't understand and writing it on a board.
That's exactly what I was about to ask.
He's like,
So,
but it's real.
I admit, I am not the greatest at maths. Not to say I'm shit at maths. I'm just not like Einstein level. But I have the ability to remember numbers. Mm-hmm. So I can look at pi to 50 decimal places, and I can look at it for 15 minutes, and I can remember it for the rest of the day, off the top of my head.
Yep. What
is not to say that he did the exact same thing and wrote out the equations?
Absolutely sweet fuck all, son. Do you know what bothers me about this? The fact that it's all known stuff. Like Bob Lazar, when he came out with all the stuff about Area 51, he was theorising about an element that didn't even exist at that point and was discovered like 20, 30 years later. This bastard is just talking about shit that already exists. He's clearly gone on Google, but it's real.
So his name is Stan Tiger Romanek, isn't it?
Indeed.
He named himself Tiger. He looks like the type that really wanted to be good at martial arts, was awful, but decided to give himself a cool nickname.
It's funny you
run
say
around
that
with nunchucks.
Just you wait for the next
Stan
part.
Tiger Romanek.
So in 2013...
Fucking wet leaf.
In 2013, Romanek's story became the subject of a documentary, which is one of our primary sources of evidence for this file, although information on this dude is not hard to find. The documentary was called Extraordinary, the Stan Romanek Story, and made its way onto Netflix in 2017. Romanek, in filming the documentary, knew that people were coming for him, so Romanek trained in top-level martial arts.
Is that where the name Tiger came from?
I have no evidence either way on that one. But Romanek was indeed then confronted by military men around 2013 to beat Romanek into silence. Unfortunately for the men, they did not expect Romanek's sweet fighting moves, and he beat the crap out of them, at one point using his bike chain before they fled away to safety. This was reported to the police, so we know it actually happened, and there was nothing suspicious about Romanek's story whatsoever. The police reported that Romanek sustained light to no injury. The documentary's next section shows Romanek absolutely covered in bandages like he's a mummy. Romanek explains how he broke his wrist and nose in the attack. Romanek is such a hard bastard that breaking bones is light to no injury.
I'm just imagining like all these military guys turning up and he just pulls out shit like Street Fighter. He's like, just turns into a Kuma.
He fucking threw a Hadouken. Hadouken!
Sure, you can. Starts throwing all these sweet fighting moves.
Tiger fist.
Unfortunately for the men.
Tiger uppercut.
Do you reckon in the video, he just got little kids to dress in military gear and just tried to film it from an angle where they looks bigger than him.
Don't recall seeing the actual attack itself. It's the aftermath that you see on the documentary.
Oh.
So you can look up police reports in America, obviously, so you can see the report that was made to them. And then on the documentary, you see him covered like a fucking mummy after. And you put that alongside the police report that says he was fine. Yeah, good stuff.
So we live in the UK, so obviously our Netflix is different to the USA's.
Indeed.
And Australia's and everywhere else. Mm-hmm. Is this on our Netflix?
Not at this precise moment in time.
Oh, what a shame. UK Netflix, sort your life out.
We'll get to that later.
We need to see these...
I assure you, we'll get to this later. Okay. You're getting ahead of yourself here.
I'll hold my tongue.
Please do. So an interesting section within this documentary, about 15 minutes in, is when Romanek explains that he picks up his medication from the doctors and they're all melted. They look like they've been stuck on the hob whilst still in the tube. Those pills, though this isn't actually stated on the documentary, are antidepressants. That concerns me somewhat. Next up...
Concerns me too.
We're shown some shadows and then some orbs stalking Romanek's house in several pieces of footage that definitely aren't just red and green laser pens. Later in the documentary... Honestly, it's so freaking bad. I had to watch so much footage of this bastard to do this episode. So fucking much. Oh!
Like, I have a question, but obviously I don't want to jump ahead.
Boing.
Is he doing this just for fame or for money? Like, trying to sell his story? Or did he just want to be known as that guy that banged an alien and had
Well, he didn't
two
bang
alien
an alien,
children?
did he? He banged his space wife.
Sorry, I apologise. Banged his hot space wife and had 2 kids and 5 clones. Those clones are still bugging
I've
me.
got some theories, but you are indeed jumping ahead of yourself. Later in the documentary, Romanek explains that he used to fight with the Bloods and the Crips all the time and get stabbed by them regularly growing up. Romanek was born in 1962, the Crips were formed in 1969 and the Bloods in 1972. So, as he says, it was both of them. From the age of 10, Romanek was involved in gang fighting.
So he just fought with normal kids in school and then just claimed they're Bloods and Crips probably because they were black? Or did he actually fight with Bloods and Crips, but, you know, all those sweet fighting skills and sweet moves of his, he literally kicked their asses? Is he the
he learned his fighting skills.
Is he the one person the Bloods and Crips are scared of?
Romanek doesn't explain whether he was involved in trafficking drugs or murder to warrant this attention, but he suggests that he learned to fight and handle himself. So what he says is that he used to get his ass kicked and then he learned to fight and started kicking their asses. Then he kicks the ass of the school principal.
Why?
Yeah, I just don't know. But it's about that time in the documentary that Romanek's Messiah complex really comes in, where he starts talking about how he had to go through that to understand the human condition and get his message across. It's just like there's been bits and pieces all the way through where he's a sociopath, quite frankly. He's a fucking sociopath.
Is this someone that has been picked on for most of their life growing up, which is unfortunate? Pussy. And in his...
Picked on, you fucking pussy!
And, like... Okay, getting picked on is not a joke. I do apologise.
To everyone but Romanek.
Yeah. He's a tiger. Sorry, Tiger Romanek. Twat.
Kung Fu master.
So, back to my point. He's been picked on most of his child life. Sometimes people harbour onto things like that. And he's also now on antidepressants. Is this him, like, detailing what he wishes happened? So it plays out in his head totally differently to what actually happened. So he gets his ass kicked. Yeah, I kicked everyone's ass.
So I think that he's a sociopath. He tries to get your sympathy and then get himself over. Is essentially the story of his life.
Yeah, I see that.
Around 22 minutes into the documentary,
Wow.
there is a follow-up to the Boo video. Romanek sees
please
what
tell me we
looks
have
like the same alien in his hallway, and his reaction is, well, we don't really need to focus on how believable his reaction is.
my
Actually,
God.
sod it, let's watch it.
Oh my! This is amazing. This is amazing. I'm so happy we have the video. I'm so happy. Let's watch. This video is 1 minute 10. Again, shaky cam. Oh. The alien is peering around a doorway. He seems to just keep saying, "What is it doing?" and walking backwards and forwards. You can't say where did it go and not head towards where it was.
But then you'd see it on the floor.
So what he's done is it
I can't see it anymore.
it peeked around the corner of a door.
What was
not its whole body, just like its head and its shoulder. And then it peeked back and then came back out again. Then it disappears and he walks backwards, goes back to the window where in the first video he sees it, and then starts asking where it went instead of walking towards where it was. But then, like you said, he would have just seen it on the floor, like the little puppet that it was.
So,
Shut up, adverts.
So, I'll give you a little bit of backstory for this video. He says that his wife, Lisa's son, was having a sleepover. This boy is, 10, 12 years old? And he thought he saw the boy running around naked, so he thought he'd get video evidence to blackmail him later. Is that not a little bit fucking creepy?
What?
Yep. That's actually in the documentary.
Not only is that weird,
It's very weird.
where did this other child come from?
So Lisa has a few children. I don't actually remember how many off the top of my head, but he's moved in with her, I assume, or she's moved in with him, and they...
So he's a stepdad with other kids
stepfather.
from Lisa. And then from his space wife, he has 2 kids and 5 clones.
7 children.
2 kids, 5 clones.
Including Kioma, yes.
Is she a clone or a real?
I think she's one of the reals. So, next up in the documentary, we get a section of answer phone messages that sound like they've been left by a fairly well-known dictation app. Why the aliens would use Earth technology is unclear, and so we'll move on, because next in the documentary, Romanek gets a screenshot of a mysterious girl in his garden. She then interrupts a call on his phone, and it turns out it's Kioma, his hybrid child, who you mentioned earlier, and who later stars in Buffy. It was at this point I started feeling a little bad for Romanek's wife, Lisa. In the footage, her reactions sound like she truly believes what's going on. That's the thing about this case. Everyone around Romanek is so sincere, and Lisa, especially, absolutely believes him. She does interview saying that she'd never lie and stuff like that. She's clearly head over heels with this man and believes everything that he says.
He is a prick. So, if this... So the picture we saw earlier that we thought could be a prosthetic...
Yep. Kioma.
It's an actual person.
Well,
and
it's not a fucking alien.
Well, it's also not a prop. But, so, it's clearly not one of Lisa's children. So has he just paid this girl to stand in the garden? Or is it from his... Obviously, it's his space wife, so it's his other kid. Has he just got 2 women on the go?
So, answering the question about the child seen in the garden first, I've seen that photo. No one else actually definitively saw her. The photo looks like a photo of a garden with a superimposed, literally stock image of a girl behind the fence.
Please, can I see that picture?
I don't have it on me.
Oh, man.
I can show you it after.
So I was going to say also about the answer phone messages and how... Why would aliens use our technology? if they're that smart, they would use something that is easier for us to understand.
Absolutely.
Rather than confuse us with their tech. So that would have made sense. But as it's Stan the Tiger, this is bullshit.
But it's a real bullshit.
I just feel sorry for everyone around him at the moment, like you said.
Like I say, Lisa is fucking heartbreaking, man.
I mean, so far.
He's literally banging someone else on the side and using aliens as an excuse, and she fucking believes it.
Would you also call that genius?
I
mean, he's pulled it off. He's tried it, and it's worked.
And this is why we investigate shit for the safety of humanity. We need to protect this lady from this dirty fucking idiot.
If you are somehow still with him, Lisa, get out.
She is, and we'll get onto that too. So to be honest, whilst there are 195 incidents here, we've covered the major ground. We've gone over his best footage, his family, and his equations whilst under hypnosis. So at this point, we're going to probe this story for science.
#probe.
#probe this story for science with a few remaining nuggets.
Golden nuggets.
Romanek at one point had an alien implant in his leg. Let's test that bastard. Hell yeah! So,
What?
You heard? Implant in the leg.
Okay.
So, in an interview with ABC, Romanek confirmed that he still had the implant in his leg, and a medical test on the implant was requested. It was at this time that Romanek explained that the implant had disappeared.
Of course. Of course it did.
Obviously, we know most of the videos could be faked. The alien could have been on a little stick. This guy used to be some kind of IT engineer, so you'd assume he is at least semi-handy with technology to be able to poorly fake photos and audio too. Whenever something could be tested, it disappears. He once took a photo of an alien hybrid child in his garden and showed it to witnesses in his house, and then as he goes to put it on the computer for the world, it disappears. That makes things tough. Looking at the Drake equation, that could have been achieved by simple memorization. Meanwhile, the Boo video depicted an immobile and expressionless alien. Only the head is visible and it suspiciously had no independent motion, no ability to turn its neck. The whole thing turned and the whole thing bobbed almost as if it was on a stick. In the follow-up video, the alien had a neck, chest, arm, and a little body, but again it did not move and the alien disappears without even its arm moving. It disappears off the side of the screen as if on a stick.
Yeah. This implant that we all know there was the implant. It suspiciously disappeared. I was surprised that to have the test done to check the implant in his leg wasn't going to cost like $1 million.
He wasn't going to pay for it. ABC were.
Oh, that's a good point. He couldn't use the money issue.
Yeah, so we've got a lot of questionable evidence.
Hold on.
I'm held.
So did they do the medical test?
No, it disappeared before they could.
How did he know it disappeared? Like, I know it's fake. I know he's talking out of his ass.
Well, I guess he had a little lump in his leg and then the lump wasn't there anymore.
Okay.
Or he's full of shit. But anyway.
So it could have just been a bruise.
It could have been him bullshitting.
Yeah, we know that.
But I guess with potentially suspicious evidence, next we look at his character. Is this the kind of guy who would lie?
Yes.
So later in life, Romanek was convicted of sex offences. So moving on.
Please tell me it wasn't the children. It was, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't actually.
Oh, thank fuck for that.
So this man was so freaked out by what he went through with the aliens that in
Don't brush over it though. Like,
in 2014.
So he initially led her out there. So his wife, he met by, come shoot this video and lured her out there.
Come see this lovely place, which happens to have aliens. He didn't mean to find aliens. That just happened.
So is that what he done with like loads of other women and just treat them there? And...
So in 2014, he was arrested for child pornography offences.
So that's why when he wanted to get the camera out.
Every time there's a child around, he's got a fucking camera out. And I found it really creepy before I knew about the charges when I heard him talking about the beautiful girl. Just the way he talks about how beautiful she is, hugging his leg.
This makes me feel sick.
Yeah, it just didn't sound like someone talking about their child. But Romanek was actually...
I actually like tigers. They're cool. I'm no longer putting the word tiger in this man's name.
Stan Bitch Romanek. So Romanek was actually investigated for 8 months and thought to be possessing and distributing child porn. Police found more than 300 photos and videos on his computer and one fucked up alien boo video. Romanek
I
was
so
later
wanted to
found-
laugh there, but not laugh at the same time.
Romanek was later found guilty of possession but not distribution in 2017. He's now subject to 10 years supervision, which will probably help him with being attacked by aliens in the future.
Whoa. 10 years supervision.
Yep, for having kiddie pictures on his...
Why is he not in jail?
Because he didn't send them to people, and that was the sentence given to him for having possession of them. He didn't
But
actually physically
he's
abuse
still-
someone, he just had pictures of
Oh,
child porn on his computer.
that's still not great.
Oh no, absolutely, he's a dirty bastard. But after all that, as you'd probably expect at this point, this
Oh,
piece
another
of
alien
shit
attack.
claimed that the government planted the images on his computer. Attorneys accused Romanek of trying to falsify documents on his computer, suggest it has been hacked, and even to try and frame his stepson. Although, wouldn't that be the best way for the authorities to discredit somebody?
He's a pervert.
Yeah, he's a
He's a dirty pervert. There is no other way of saying it. And then to try and blame the kid as well. Lock
So-
this guy up.
In 2015, Romanek did admit faking some moving objects in the background of one of his many videos.
What, all of them?
Yeah, I don't have the link for this video, but basically, he's talking to someone via like YouTube or something, or like a webcam.
Well, like
and he
Skype.
just goes like that and throws a pen up in the air. And at first, the bloke doesn't catch his arm moving, so he thinks it's real on the other end. And then he does it again with like a USB stick or something, and you can clearly see him throw it. And the Australian bloke's like, "Yeah, I'll see you later, Stan."
He's
So he
Twat.
later stated that he only admitted that because authorities had intimidated him. Romanek's documentary was released in 2013. You'd assume he must have been getting some licensing or rights around that, so there is potential financial motivation. So to summarise, we either have a government cover-up or a piece of shit paedophile pervert after notoriety and money. Before we decide that it was aliens, I should probably also tell you that within the alien community, which, as we know very well, is quite hardcore, Romanek is somewhat avoided. The common perception is that he's made serious cases look silly, but his first video might be real. Are you saying that it was aliens?
His first video was not real. This guy's a paedophile pervert.
You haven't seen his first video. It's not the boo video.
Is that not the boo video?
No, his first video was when he was filming for his future wife, and there were some aliens in the sky.
I think I need to see that video before I can agree that that might be real. Still paedophile pervert, piece of shit. And quite frankly, it is very hard for me to believe anything that this guy has said
Yeah.
or done, other than being a paedophile pervert.
To be honest, this bastard just makes me fucking angry. I'm not
Yeah.
saying it was aliens. Basically,
It's not aliens.
I have 3 theories. My first theory is that the very first video that you haven't yet seen might be... It's unexplainable. It could be aliens.
Okay.
But from that point, this motherfucker got fixated on proving it, and so he kept on faking footage more and more and more to try
Yeah,
and
like
prove
you said, it then
And
discredits the real video
absolutely,
if that was.
absolutely. And I'm not even saying the first video was real, but that's just one potential theory, and it could have been anything in the sky that he saw.
True. Space police.
That does not excuse being the child-fiddling prick. So my second theory is that Romanek is a hoaxer, and if that's the case, I'll give him this. He's dedicated. He must proper plan every single step of those videos and whatnot, so much so that he doesn't stop to think what they actually look like after he's filmed them.
Well, other than the first video, which I haven't seen, he did not plan those other ones very well at all. I mean,
In his head,
they look
though, in his
awful.
head.
Absolute. Please. I kind of don't want to give him any time or space, but please go and watch the Boo video just to see how bad it is.
So-
Such a piece of shit.
My third theory is that Romanek created this fucking alien story in the sky to entice his future wife Lisa. And then he had to keep it up more and more elaborately to keep her. But then this guy's a fucking sex predator prick. He used it to have an affair on her and convince this other lady that it's fucking aliens as well.
Yeah, it's true.
So he's
There's
going
two
around
wives.
banging all of Colorado using aliens as an excuse, and people are gullible. So obviously, whilst we've made use of several sources in this investigation, the opinions expressed are our own, and so if Romanek's alien friends are listening, please don't come for us. I do not want to be laid on a table in pain, but Romanek's a bitch.
I'm sorry. You can try and come for me all you want. I'll kick the shit out of you. I mean, I would attempt to kick the shit out of you. But if you decided that this piece of shit is someone you'd want to associate yourself with, I mean, I don't know what your alien rules are, but fuck you, he's a piece of shit. And you're a piece of shit if you agree with his thing, what he's done.
He's a piece of shit.
So I will kick your ass. Unless you have ray guns.
In which case I'll think about kicking your ass.
And
melt.
you may get probed, bitch. Hashtag probe.
In researching this story, one of my sources online included a poll where 74% had voted that they truly believed Romanek was abducted. I know this audience is hardcore, but Rasputin's dick, son, what is wrong with us?
Is this before they'd seen...
This is
or is
recent.
this... They
This
think
is
the
fairly
boo
recent.
videos...
Just his story in general. They think he's... Some people think that he's being honest and that he's been smeared by the government. But in this point in our careers, we've come across a lot of credible witnesses.
Again, I'm going to
This
sound...
guy-
Sorry. I'm sorry to interrupt you. Again, I'm going to sound like an arsehole. Where do these people come from?
The sewer.
Are they fucking idiots?
This guy is not sincere in the way that others are. David Huggins is a sweet, kinky painter. I would not trust Romanek with my nephews. Do you know what? I think we need to start like a Hall of Fame, but for really shit people.
I don't want to give them the time.
No, like a hall of little bitches or a hall of shit. And we put the worst of the fucking worst of the worst in the hall of little bitches.
So like they go out with Hitler.
Yeah, worse than Hitler.
Well, I mean, he's a piece of shit, but...
We could have like ceremonial music playing in the background and be like, we're gathered here today to consider inducting Stanley Little Bitch Romanek into the Hall of Bitches. Stanley, you have used and abused every fucking person around you. You've looked at children's titties and bums. You're a disgusting human being. You're the biggest piece of shit known to Colorado and possibly the United States of America. I therefore induct you as the first inductee into the Hall of Bitches.
He is just a fucking piece of shit. Oh, it's made with blood boil.
Yeah, like I said, I needed to do this episode so I could stop thinking about him for the rest of my life. Honestly, I've done so much research on this prick. I've watched his fucking hour-and-a-half documentary.
Oh, son, I feel for
God,
you.
it was just so frustrating. I want to shake everyone in there. And then I've read countless websites. I've listened to about 12 podcasts on it.
Until that last part about him being a paedophile, I was actually intrigued in watching the documentary. Now I just not given... No, my time's too valuable for that piece of shit. It's not happening. Was that bit in the documentary about him being, like, the charges?
Yeah,
so it was...
Literally, the documentary was made before that happened, but then when it came to Netflix, they added a 5-second little text
bit at the end to say
saying
that...
in 2000 and whatever it was, he was investigated and charged with child pornography. But before you judge him, and then it shows loads of newspaper clippings of the FBI framing people for child pornography.
What?
So they're fucking excusing him.
They're trying to say that he was...
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, fucking no. You're a little bitch, Romanek. So that's it for today's file. Thank you for listening to But It Was Aliens. You can email us at butitwasaliens@gmail.com. You can find us on the gram at But It Was Aliens Podcast. You can probe us on the Twitter at But It Was Aliens. I've been your host, Kevin the Grey.
I am still Granville Moonwalker.
We will see or be heard by you next Thursday. Good night.
Peace.
You know, the director of this fucking documentary was called John Sumple. The editor was John Sumple. The story was John Sumple. Fucking fuck John Sumple too.
I mean, John Sumple. What a name.
I just wanted to bring that up at the end after we're done. Basically, one person has gathered a crew of about 5 or 6 people to make a documentary about this prick.
Oh, he is a fucking piece of shit, isn't he?
He's an absolute piece of shit. What a